Hi, Juan Finance here. It's so nice to be back and thank you very much for tuning in. In this short video, we're going to cover the top performing money market funds, so that would include UITF and mutual funds as of fourth quarter 2021. So first, let's have the characteristics of a money market fund. Low risk, low potential return, and usually recommended for conservative investors. And yung investment horizon naman is at least a year. So we have the peso currency first, and after we have the dollar. So we have here our benchmark for money market funds. Now, usually it's the 3-month bond yield or tawag natin, no, treasury bill. So ito yung basehan natin if our investments in money market is actually performing good or not. So we have here as of January 3, 2022, that's actually 1.1 or let's say 1.11% gross per annum. But here's the thing. Ang inflation natin for November is actually clocking at 4.2%. So nasa negative interest rate environment tayo wherein yung inflation natin is higher than our nominal interest rate. Okay, so you have 1.11% minus the inflation figure, you will have a negative yield of around 3%. So ano ba yung top performing money market funds natin? We have here Sun Life ranking first at 1.44 net of taxes and fees, followed by Maybank Tiger Peso Fund with 1.25. Next is BPI Invest 1.15, China Bank Short Term 1.14, and SB Peso Money Market with 0.93% net of taxes and fees. Now, what if meron kang 100,000 and then you invested it for a year? For Sun Life, you could have earned 1,440. For Maybank, that's around 1,250. For BPI Invest, that's around 1,150. China Bank, 1,140. And for SB Peso, you have 930 pesos for your 100,000 initial investment. Now let's try to check, okay, why is that the Sun Life Prosperity Peso Starter is actually the top performing funds? Now here, we have some highlights. For example, here, subscription is very, very affordable. That's 100 for initial, and then for your subsequent, for additional investment, that's 100 pesos. So that's very affordable. Management fee is 0.25. That's still acceptable because the usual range for money market is around 0.5, 0.75 max. Okay, holding period is 7 days. Now this is unusual for a money market though, because most of them are actually zero holding period, but this one, it comes with a 7-day holding period. Of course, we have the recommendation here for conservative risk profile investors, and majority of the placements are actually in short term. And if you're going to look at here, the top holdings are all government securities. So alam naman natin pag government security, it's considered as risk-free, okay? So for the performance of the fund, we have here for 1 year, 3-year, and 5-year return, but in particular, we have for 1 year, that's 1.50, okay, versus the benchmark here of 1.11%. So remember our benchmark a while ago, so that's performing around 1.11 for a year, but the fund is performing 1.50, around 0.40% on top of the benchmark. So we can say that this fund is actually performing good versus the benchmark. But if you're going to compare it, versus the inflation, that's still pretty much high gap because the inflation is around 4%. Okay, pero kung conservative na investment ang hanap mo, this could be for you. Okay, now for our dollar currency, we have here our benchmark for dollar. We have the 3-month bond yield of the US government. So if you're going to look at here, that's 0.055%. And inflation is soaring high at 6.8%. So you can compute now your yield here. You have zero interest income with almost 7% inflation. Therefore, your real interest rate is around -6, -7%. Okay, for US 3-month bond yield. Now, here are our top performing money market funds in dollar currency. So if you're going to look at here, we still have Sun Life 0.66% net of taxes and fees, followed by Rizal Dollar Money Market 0.35, BPI Invest on the third place 0.24, followed by China Bank 0.06, and US dollar of UCPB performing almost flat for the year. So what if meron kang $10,000 and you invested it for a year, at least a year? Now, if you're going to look at Sun Life here, it could have given you $66 in return. Rizal Dollar 35, BPay Invest 24, China Bank 6, and UCPB US dollar income or US dollar money market fund giving you negative 13 cents. So let's try to dig deeper on Sun Life Prosperity Dollar. This is actually the dollar counterpart of the Peso starters. If you're going to look at, they have very similar composition of assets. The minimum subscription here is $500, and then yung subsequent naman is 100. Again, management fee of 0.25 is very acceptable. They still have the 7 days holding period over dollar. And yeah, the benchmark here is actually performing 0.12. Now try to look at this one. The fund is like 0.81%. That's almost like 7-8 times performing better than the benchmark. So it's still an option if you are looking for a conservative investment in dollar currency. Here are our sources. So that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you learned something. Please do like the video, and if you want others to understand, kindly share this video. And if you need to know more, kindly subscribe so you won't miss any future videos that we're going to make. Thanks for dropping by.